stands at 20.71% there. And of course, those are the numbers of the votes, 5 million votes and then 1 million votes. And then Nandala Mafabi there stands at 2.12%. With 144,000 votes. And then we see Ant Monto Mogisha, Mogisha Monto at 0.56% with 38,000 votes there. And then Mubaraka Munyagwa is at 0.28% with 19,000 votes there. And then Robert Kasivante at 0.3%. with 20,000 votes. We have Joseph Mabirizi at 0.21%, 14 votes there, and then Frank Bulira at 0.4%. Now, as we go further, we look at the chart. As you can see, NRM is taking the lead by 75.38%, and then NOPE is number 2 in the wagon, and then the rest of the candidates there, the rest of the parties are there, indicate that it's not moving so well, but at least we see that both NOPE and NRM are really performing so well in different constituencies there. And then again, this is the total summary. Council, what do you make of these results?
The results so far are provisional, representing 59% of the 50,000 polling stations.
Yes.
So far, I think what has been captured is 30,000 results from 30,000 polling stations. But if this trajectory is maintained, looks like President Museveni is heading for a landslide. A resounding victory. Looking at the margin from 75% to 20% and the other.
Exactly.
Yes. Maybe the biggest question here is this is a big change from 2021 result. Maybe the question is why? Why are things the way they are?
True.
I have a feeling the biggest contributing factor here is peace and stability.
Peace and stability.
Peace and stability.
And of course, these are just provisional results from the Electoral Commission. They will issue the final official declarations, yes, as we heard from Rashande there.
Yes.
Yeah, in Zimbabwe, Rashande has taken the lead, and actually he's, we could say right now, he has the seat for Parliament. So we will be having those, and we will keep updating you on how this transpired. Let's get back to our interview.
Yeah.
Reverend Dr. Stephen Samuel Kazimba Mugalu, the 9th Arch of Uganda, but it is your God-given opportunity to go. Some people are wondering whether this is just it. Not only that, it's a biblical mandate. Proverbs 18, the Bible says, casting a vote or disputes. So, casting a vote is biblical, God-given. Now I want to call upon all Ugandans. In the morning, wake up, go and vote, because it is your God-given. But also I want to invite that people, everybody, we keep the peace. Peace is very, very important. We belong to different parties. Ugandans, we should remember that voting is just an event. It's a seasonal thing to a time. And once it's done, we put leaders in place, life must continue. No reason of hating, no reason of hatred, or even fighting. And the security agencies, please do of protecting the people, so that after
And of course, on set, we are still joined by Counsel Joanna Kabagambe. He's also a lawyer. He's a lawyer, yes, as a counsel, he's a lawyer and also a political analyst. But then on set again, we have been joined by a man who has served different constituencies. He was in the previous constituencies, the East African Assembly. Was it called the Constituency Assembly?
The Constituent Assembly.
The Constituent Assembly.
Enacted and promulgated
and,
the Constitution.
And he has served democratically, and right now he is retired, NRM supporter, but also a political analyst in that angle. Thank you so much for joining the set.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure joining you.
Well, provisional results. I'll start with you because we've enjoyed ourselves here with Council. So provisional results across the country are showing that the yellow color is actually taking the lead, and then NOP is coming next. But of course, yesterday, by news time, we had some political analysts commending the Electoral Commission for handling chaos when it comes to the biometrics, the BVV kits. And that was something that would spark a little bit of violence, at the polling stations. But now when we look at the provisional results, it's actually alarming. It has revealed unexpected outcomes, from different candidates. The ones we hoped that probably would lead the wagon or even win, in declarations, it's a different music.
Yeah, thank you very much. The trends as they are, first of all, fraternal greetings to all those that are viewing us and following this program. Thank you for making time and being part of a conversation of this nature. I'd like to salute my members of the panel and the moderator, and I'm glad to be part of this panel. What we are witnessing is not surprising. Some of us saw it coming, and definitely it confirms certain positions that we've had over time. I would like to commend the Electoral Commission for having managed a very difficult situation regarding the failure of the machines to play ball. That decision that we go manual was necessary and most desirable to avert any unforeseen trends and behavior. So that was a function of good leadership, taking responsibility, owning up, and taking a decision. And the decision they
Though
took was...
it impacted a little bit on the voter turnout.
Yeah, it did, but it was better than taking no decision at all.
True.
Because one, it was legally well grounded, because the machine goes to confirm what is on the
ballot
vote,
paper.
yeah, on the voter register.
On the voter register.
And once you have the voter register, which is guaranteed within our legal framework, the machine just goes to take the verification to the highest level, creating highest levels of accountability and transparency.
Sure.
But the data is definitely one that is provided in the voter register. And once you have it, you are able to do what you can do with the machine. But with the machine alone, and you don't have the voter register, you can't do either way. So that was a very good decision. But regarding the trends as we see them, a strategic and good campaign is based on 4 pillars. And with that, you can be able to predict with some degree of precision. One, if you're going into a campaign, you must have a good candidate. Good candidate, credible candidate, a candidate with the brand visibility, brand name, brand recognition. One that appears and everyone knows this is the NRM candidate or this is the candidate for X, where you don't have to explain so many things around the candidate. So that is extremely important. And with candidate Yoweri Museveni, NRM has a formidable and highly credible candidate with a good experience, exposure, and some good degree of expertise in managing public affairs.
Besides that, this time around as NRM all together, you joined hands and rallied together behind President Yoweri Museveni. I think that was much support in different constituencies.
Yeah, and I'm going to come to that. So the first is candidate. You need a sellable candidate. And that is, he does. Now the second pillar is the message. After having a good candidate, what message are you sending? Even if you are promoting a product, even if you are promoting a service, you must have a good message that promotes the service, message. That promotes. So you have a candidate, a good one, but what message do you use to promote that candidate? And the message was well thought out.
True.
You know, protecting the gains.
The gains.
That kind of mantra speaks to everyone. It speaks to the high and mighty, it speaks to the ordinary people, it speaks to the middle class, it speaks to everyone. Because during his tenure, different people have made different aspects of achievements in their lives. And that speaks directly. So when you say, let's go vote him and be able to protect the gains. I just want to give one example of an interesting dimension. Just university education. When I was in university, we had Makerere alone, just one university. And there are so many colleagues with whom were in senior 6 who didn't make it to the university because the policy was restrictive. When university, you had to get very good grades, extremely good, in order to be admitted. There are people who passed and would be able to be admitted because of limitation. They ended up not joining university, and many of them didn't even get degrees. But with the policy that liberalized university education, right now, there are those parents who would never have had their children graduating. That is a gain. There are those so many thousands, because now you get a year we graduate over 50,000. Now all those, when you talk about gains, someone graduated because of that, he's got a job because of that, that is a gain. It is elastic. It is not restrictive. There are those who have been able to get different achievements. So that message speaks to many people. And it is well informed by the different pillars that make the message. When you talk about peace and stability and security, that is the mother of all gains. And that gain appeals to each and every Ugandan. Because with the peace, you are able to do so many things. The sky is the limit. Everyone has been able to achieve. And interestingly, on a light note, one of the candidates, who is a very popular person in the creatives, very popular, and I agree, but that is part of the gain. The environment that has allowed him to thrive has been part of the peace and the security. So you find that even the candidates, even being candidates itself is a gain that they need to protect as they go to contest in this election. Then from there you have development, you have wealth creation, you have job creation, you have markets, you have service delivery, and you have strategic security. Now those are the 7 pillars that make the mantra of the message. That message was so clear, it was unambiguous, was straight, it connected with the majority, it made sense, it was timely, it was most desirable. So with that, you can't go wrong. The third pillar of a good campaign are structures. Because once you have a good candidate and you have a good message, how does that message make a trickle-down effect up to the real beneficiary, the ordinary person in the village? Now, NRM has the structures from Central Executive Committee, National Executive Committee, the Delegates Conference, the district conferences, the sub-county conferences, the parish conferences, and the village conferences. Now, the message that was well packaged went through a very clear trajectory up to the beneficiaries of the message. And that message was well packaged, was scientifically arrived at, and it made a lot of sense. It was mathematical because we worked on the basis of numbers. We didn't want any guesswork, any projections that are not scientifically supported. So what happened is that we agreed that for us we are going to use 2 mathematical signs, the addition and the multiplication. And we totally worked against subtraction and division. So we went down to the parish where we had 63 leaders at the village level. And they got the message as packaged. And being the 63, we have 72,000 villages of NRM. Now 63 times 72, you get something like 4 million. Now that is 4 million of votes of leaders. You haven't even gone to supporters and the people that they bring. That is very scientific. So what was announced at 9 was basically a representation of the leaders before even going to the supporters and the members of the party. So with that, we went with what we called the parish mobilization model. We went to all the parishes of this country. And this was good because we engaged the entire country at the same time.
I'm allowing you to talk because you're making quite a fundamental expressions, especially when it comes to to accountable governance.
Yes.
And this is what we want. But when we travel a little bit backward in the previous campaigns, it wasn't like this. This time around, NRM did it a bit different. What broke the ice?
Yeah, you know, when you are going for any engagement, you ask yourself 3 questions. The first question is, what is it that we are doing that we should continue doing? Which means it's working. The second question is, what is it that we are doing that we should stop doing? Which means you've been doing it, doesn't add value, it's not useful, so you should drop it. Then question number 3 is, what is it that we've not done that we should start doing?
Don't you think we as the ruling party, we do have enough resources to actually support every activity, every initiative that we want to put out there? And probably the others are on the other side, on the negative side. They may not have enough resources to achieve all these, you know, strategies that you're talking about?
No. The strategy is mainly brain work. You don't have to. You just
don't
have
need
to.
funds.
You just have to get the right brains. Most of the things have been done pro bono on a voluntary basis. These ideas, we even did some survey, and the survey was initiated by members of the party, not sponsored by anyone. So you need to be strategic. You need to get the right people in the right places to derive the right
at the
response.
right time.
So we did that. We asked ourselves those 3 questions, and we realized that we've always had a campaign team, you know, national task force. And we are like, has it worked to the best? Are there gaps that we could fill? So this time around, we said, look, we have these structures. These structures have people that man them. You have the SEC with members, you have the NEC with members, you have the delegates conference with members, you have members at the district level, sub-county level, parish, and the village. And we're like, what is it in for them in this campaign? How are we going to deliver a mass kind of message without involving the structures? So this time around, we had...
You had to go back to the round table and revise.
We've never used the structures. And that's why we are making it good. Because the structures owned the message, the structure owned the process, the structure owned the procedures. And we gave them tasks.
True.
Because we said you are 63 on the village. Can you fail to get 2 people to convince?
Okay.
We told them, we gave them a task that each one of you should bring at least 10 people.
Now that was very strategic.
And from that we said, where do you get the 10 people? He said, you can get 10 people from your family, immediate or extended. You can get people from your place of work. You can get people from your OGs and OGs. You can get people from the church, the mosque, where you go to pray.
And Honorable.
You can do so even in the neighborhood.
Honorable, when we look at the previous campaign, it was 81 point something million voters.
Yes.
So it shows that a lot of awareness was actually made to capture a 21.6% million voters.
Yeah, the Electoral Commission has done its bit in terms of awareness creation, in terms of mobilization, in terms of engagement to ensure that people do take up their civic responsibility, come out and be part of decision making, because that is the highest level of rights. When we talk about rights,
Council, I'll get to you in a while.
Very important.
I'm still interested in some of these areas that I think that our Honorable Mike can actually express more. Now, the issue of before you came in, we had talked about the capacity of our parliament, 556 members. And it looks like we're having more constituencies being developed in the near future. Don't we think, as small as we are, Uganda, do we really need that much of a big, you know, parliament, considering the fact that we are debt burdened?
I belong to the school of thought that is in favor of a small, efficient, and effective parliament that is well facilitated,
yes, that
is well supported in terms of research, in terms of... So I'm not quite excited about the numbers. And that is creating a bigger problem.
True.
Because now people are looking at parliament as the fastest means to amassing wealth. So it is becoming careerism. It is losing the service element. I want people who are ready to serve effectively and efficiently. One, the bigger the parliament, the less the unit time for contribution.
We can borrow leave from,
even
from the African region.
Because right now they give you 3 minutes. What is the quality and quality of that debate? Of 3 minutes. Even before you finish your preamble, the bell has gone.
Bell has already
so for me,
rung.
I'm not in favor of a big parliament. I really want us to get a parliament that is that is efficient and effective.
But trimmed down from
trimmed
556.
down to good numbers,
yes.
because the numbers don't really add much in terms of the quality of debate, the quality of the laws, and all the other. So
some of the parliamentarians finish up their tenure without speaking.
Very many of them have not even made their maiden speech, and we are now and they are now campaigning for the next session of a parliament.
So now, as a political analyst, how can we harmonize?
For instance, we have
the will of people remains the key in democracy.
Definitely.
So when people decide,
Yes.
then there is no reason to say we got the wrong leader, because it's their mandate, you know, as citizens, as Ugandans, to actually choose the leaders of their choice.
Yes.
Looking at what's happening right now, looking at the provisional results that are coming in, what do you think? Are people making the right decision? Are they... Let me put it this way. During the campaigns, we saw a lot of people rallying behind different candidates.
Definitely.
And you'd think that they would be taking the lead.
Yes.
But now we see these specific candidates are really just following the wagon. Are voters camouflaging as, yeah, and when they go to the ballot, they are picking someone else?
Well, there's been a lot of bandwagon effect. A certain presidential candidate is coming in my area. So borders. And everybody.
So that is arranged.
Sometimes it has been like actually a music show. Sometimes. But when it comes.
Do you need a ride? Taxi F is a better way to ride. Taxi F, everyone's favorite app.
I have a feeling many Ugandans are actually polling or voting for peace and stability.
Okay. Okay.
I have a feeling that's the biggest, because when you look at this country, in this era from 1986 to present, this is the time when Uganda has been stable and peaceful.
Yeah.
The fact that you can come to work, any other person across all sectors, the informal sector, the middle class, everybody, peace and stability are the most important key elements of any country. In Uganda, we are attracting refugees from the region, far and beyond. Why? Because of an enabling environment that has been created. So we cannot negate, we cannot downplay the importance of peace.
Sure.
As a child,
Just to put something little on the refugee.
yes,
At one point, Uganda was a net exporter of refugees. If you went in any capital around neighboring Uganda, you'd find refugees are Ugandans.
yes,
Now Uganda is a
Is the
net
host.
importer.
yes.
It's a net importer and hosting the biggest
Exactly.
refugee
Camps.
settlement.
Yeah.
Yes, from the Horn of Africa, from the Great Lakes region.
About 2 million
everywhere.
people.
Yes.
That speaks volume.
Yeah. By the time someone leaves Eritrea to come here, and all these other countries, the biggest attraction is peace and stability.
And some
So-
people are complaining, but there's a lot of poverty around. But I think when there's enough peace, there's more time to make money. There's more time to buy land. There's
See,
more
I'll
time
tell
to
you
build,
this.
Peace of
to
mind.
develop. Yes.
You see-
There's a time I was coming from an overnight at around 3 a.m. and I was on a border. And some trucks were passing. They had, goods, charcoal. These are the trucks that I'm seeing in the night. But when we talk to our grandies, they say in times like those you'd see trucks of military, and so you'd see trucks of military, and so there's if you have the peace of mind,
Yes.
then you can relax and hope for the future.
Yes.
Maybe the situation, because I don't think someone who was in poverty in the past years when General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni came into government, that they're still poor. The trends change. Sometimes you may not move from glory to glory, but at least if there is peace, if there is time, if you are allowed to have time, because people in Somalia do not have time.
Exactly. So let me just tell you this. Around 2001 elections, 2006, candidate Kizza Besigye used to score a lot in northern Uganda because that was a town area. But when peace returned, people were thankful.
And the
That the
conversation
government-
changed.
Yes.
You see, 2021 elections, the story was different. And it's playing out even now. Talking about poverty, as a child of the 10-point program of the NRM, the one I was most attracted to was building an independent, integrated, self-sustaining
Self-sustaining
economy. Because I felt that when you have that in place, Uganda is going to develop faster. But as I grew, I got to know that the conducive environment for that independent, integrated, self-sustaining economy is peace and stability. Without that, you
She's the
can't,
mother of
True.
everything.
you can't do
Now,
anything.
me, per se, I didn't own a home in 2021. But now I have a very beautiful home. And I've managed to give birth to 8 children.
You're
Because
protecting the gains.
I'm hoping for the
Those
future.
are the gains. That beautiful home, the children that you've given birth to, and the way you are looking after them, they are immunized, they don't have any threats of,
So who is the guarantor?
And I'm thinking
for
when
that?
these people get to the ballot, when they get the ballot paper,
Yes.
they're asking, why change?
Exactly.
That's the question. Is there a reason for me to change?
Yeah, because now if you're talking about the things they normally talk about, they talk about corruption. Any leader would have to grapple with that. And corruption is in the civil service and these other areas. But the single most important fundamental issue is peace and stability. If you are in the commercial sector, the working class sector, you need an enabling environment for you to go about your work, to go about your business. So I have a feeling when someone goes to the polling station, it's a sobering environment. They say, what am I voting for? I want to be able to work, to go about my business, to protect my family. You understand, that is the most important thing. And candidate Museveni is a guarantor of that.
Exactly.
For now, Uganda has been peaceful. During the COVID pandemic, he used to say, I used to watch his speech, and then he would say that in the Great Lakes region, 500 years of the Great Lakes region, Uganda has been most peaceful during the time of 1986 up to present. I used to meet people from the region, Kenyans and others, and then they would talk about during the time when a leader would come and would be in office for 2 months, 8 months, and is out.
And
there's a coup, there's what? You see, from 1986 up to present, I mean, investors have been coming here. The economy has grown. There's been a lot of the tax base widening. So I have a feeling. Of course, the other thing is from least developed country now to middle income. All those are gains that are worth protecting.
True.
Yes.
Okay. Now,
and another thing, Ugandans have matured politically. They simply don't want to gamble. That is at the back of their mind. Their sense of judgment is much higher than was before, given what they've gone through. At one point, they knew Uganda is a deserted country. God forgot about it.
It was a failed
now
country.
they know it can be a peaceful country, and there's hope. And we live in hope. That's how we progress. Because when you have hope for tomorrow, you work hard, knowing that you are going to build the house, finish it, live in it, and bear 8 children, and they grow out of it. You know, that is what sustains life. Yep.
I mean, maybe supplementing on that, Uganda was a failed state before 1986, along the lines of Somalia.
Yeah.
It was a failed...
And the DRC.
Definitely, it was a failed state. But now, when we look in the region, Tanzania, Kenya, when you're comparing the economy of Uganda with those countries that were actually stable from independence, they didn't have the kind of political upheavals that we've had.
Leadership.
Yeah, right now, when you're comparing Uganda, it's like comparing one person who is slightly taller than another. So a lot of gains.
in terms of stability.
In terms of even the economics of the
Ours is the fastest growing economy.
Fastest growing, Kenya being the giant.
Our currency is the most stable currency globally.
Yes.
Now Kampala is a regional capital. It is a regional capital.
Yes.
When you talk about a tourism city, it is a diplomatic city. All different meetings, agreements, consultations are done here. It was Nairobi that was enjoying that.
Honorable, we're going to come back to that. We also have a number, we have a question there about the big number of incumbents that are dropping out. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. Let's go back to Zimbabwe, where our reporter Ivan Akawa is on standby to give us what's happening there at the Tally Center.
To where the returning officer has just declared the results in the 4 constituencies in Zimbabwe district and the woman representative of Zimbabwe district. As we speak, the NRM has swept all the constituencies and Zimbabwe district. In Zimbabwe district, Florence Nambazira has won the woman MP seat. And victory today, including Aine Sodo, who is, and we have Emmanuel Rashande, who has won the NRM seat, Lwemiyaga County. Then Mawogola County, Mawogola West, Hanifa Kawoya has won it. So the 4 constituencies are having NRM candidates, are having NRM winners, and the Sembabule district as well. As you can see, the returning officer is done with the process of declaring all the winners, and the winners now are finding their way out. All the supporters are waiting for them. It is chanting, it is all happiness. It is all victory. Sembabule has spoken. Sembabule has voted their favorites. Here are the winners. That is Desi Byuma right there. Desi Byuma, the one in yellow. He has passed. Then other winners are also moving. I can see the light. Of Toyota, that is Aine Kaguta. That is Sodo Aine Kaguta right there being chanted. Congratulations, Honorable.
Thank you, thank you.
You have been declared winner. What's your next step? Speak to your voters.
Of course, it's to work and us and get it.
Thank you so much. Well, that is Aine Sodo Kaguta. He's a man of few words, just to work for the voters. Well, I will be speaking to other candidates, to other winners who have been declared winner. That is Sodo Aine Kaguta, who was in the race in the Mawogola County North race. He was contesting with other 5 that include Shigongo Francis of the Forum for. Well, the supporters are so happy, chanting with their winners. Well, the happiness that comes to winning, that's the happiness that comes with winning. Oh, that's the happiness that comes with winning. Honorable, congratulations. You have been declared winner. Kindly speak to your voters. What are you going to do next?
I am still a member of parliament. I'm a sitting member of parliament. So I am continuing with my work and still as a Minister of State for Minister of Health, and I am continuing with the President's program. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Congratulations. Well, that is Honorable Hanifa Kaweya, who has just spoken to us. The people are excited here. I know the noise is too much, but we shall try and get each one of them to speak to at least those who have already been declared winners. We have so far had a word from Sodo Aine Kaguta. We've had a word from Hanifa Kaweya. And we are still figuring out if we can get hold of any other candidate or any other winner who has been declared this time around. 5 members of parliament representing the NRM in Sembabule district. Winner of Rwemiyaga County, he has won Theodore Sechikubo, Migade Joseph Amoti, and Ainebiona Innocent. We are going to be speaking to the general. I think he is undergoing a photo opportunity. He is speaking with some
Well, as you can see, a victory over there in Sembabule. 5 constituencies, and they've all been swept off by the NRM party. There we've seen Hanifa Kaweya, Rashande, Daisy, Biuma, and many others there jubilating, and then voters supporting and chanting victory. Quite interesting there. Thank you very much there, Ivan Kaho. Now back in studios, still with Honorable Mike Sebalu, Kennedy, NRM supporter. He has served this country for quite some time, and he's very knowledgeable about politics. He's a political analyst. He's with us. He's at the far end, and then next to me it is Council political analyst as well. Council Joel Kabagambe. Council John Kabagambe. He's a lawyer and political analyst. And I've been enjoying myself with these 2 gentlemen. He joined us a little bit later, but again, we both, had already spiced the interview. So I just need, what's your take from that declaration? Because now it's no longer provisional results. Now these are declarations. So what's your take home?
These are confirmed results. Clearly, Sembabule is still yellow. Sembabule is an NRM stronghold. That's what it means.
Was that the same performance in 2021?
Yes, it was. Sembabule has been that. We cannot call Sembabule a swing district. It's still a yellow district, and the results confirm. The fact that 5 slots of members of parliament have all been swept by NRM, it speaks a lot. And
tense, in the by-elections. But now we see Rashande really winning the hearts of men and allowing the will of people to govern.
Yeah, just like my colleague has indicated, Sembabule has always been NRM, predominantly NRM. And once you go through the primaries and you've done your good homework across the primaries, definitely the general elections become ratification of the earlier position of the the voters. But there is a lady who had sneaked in. I think either a woman MP or something. But the stakeholders within Zimbabwe vowed to get rid of any, and they've lived up to their word. I remember Honorable Kutesa saying that by the close of this, we shouldn't have any other political tendencies. And indeed, they've been able to do that. But it has been a very interesting election with interesting dimensions. The Rasande Sechikubo dimension was a news breaker, you know, accusations and counter-accusations. But definitely, at the end of the day, it is not about the individuals. It is about how you connect with the masses, because they carry the day. Sechikubo has been a fairly popular leader from that place, but looks like his time is up, and the voters have switched allegiance. I believe that maybe Rashande could have looked at the gaps.
The gaps,
you know,
yes.
there are situations where you are tick, but someone who comes in and has done his homework, they may look at your gray areas where you are not
performing
up to
well.
the expectations, and they do bit of their homework. At times they even recruit people in your camp. You know, someone can come and get the face of your campaign.
True.
And once they've gotten them to their side, it becomes a totally game changer.
Thank you very much,
Disorganizing.
Honorable Mike, and thank you very much, Council John Kabagambe. It has been quite an interesting discussion. Dear viewer out there, it's time for us to reflect more on the progress, the lessons, the aspirations that continue to shape our electoral democracy. And of course, as we sign out, let's head back to the National Tally Center, where Timothy Nyangweso is waiting to give us that interview. My name is Patricia Lukoma Ampango. A pleasure allowing me into your space. Good afternoon.
Very welcome to the National Tally Center here. Today I have Moses Biruhanga, the Senior Presidential Advisor, but also the lead polling agent for the President. Good afternoon, sir, and how are you?
Good afternoon, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. So far, what do you see? How does it look like in your view?
Well, you have seen it here on the screen. We are winning, and that doesn't surprise me, because our target was to win at 70%, not less than that.
So when you look at some of the numbers, especially the turnout and the polling stations, do you see anything that concerns you?
Well, the turnout could have been higher, because so far I think it's about 50% or about. It could have been higher. Maybe let's wait for the remaining, because from what they have announced, 38,000 against 50,000. So you still have about 12,000 polling stations not yet coming. So let's wait the turn up in those areas. But for what is so far here, it's still low.
Though there were some incidents yesterday, security-wise. In your view, these incidents, were they avoidable? Were they something that could have been avoided? 3 people killed in Luero yesterday, this morning, and then a few issues in different areas. What do you think about these?
I haven't studied them. I can't comment on what I don't know well about.
I can also ask you about the deployment. People felt that it was heavy deployment that might have collaborated with the biometric to bring intimidation for people not to turn out. Is that something that you see, especially with this?
Well, the deployment, security normally deploys according to the level of threat. So depending on what they know from intelligence, they will deploy to overcome what is expected. So the good thing, generally, the election process was peaceful. Okay, election day itself, I voted in Kampala myself. Apart from the delay of the voting materials at our polling station, which came in at around 8. I was there around 7:40, but the materials came around 8. We were already there. There were about 4 polling stations in one area. So by the time the polling materials came, about maybe 2,000 or so people had already gathered. Now, it was I call it a blessing in disguise. Why? They opened the ballot boxes when we were all there watching. So nobody can say there was staffing, because we were all there. Maybe it had been opened earlier, I would have said, I don't know what happened, I don't know what, but now many people are there.
at the time of opening. So you can't claim about staffing or multiple voting, people coming again and again, something like that. So it's unfortunate that the machines were not used, but the register as per law was used. And the people, those who voted, I think were happy that they voted, they made their choice.
Two questions, Mr. Moses. When I ask, when you look at the numbers you have benefited in some areas you have not been in before, especially members of parliament, the numbers in the votes that you have attained there, what do you attribute that to, looking at Buganda region especially?
What does before mean? We have been winning in Uganda before, only to the last election. But if you say before, well, I can stretch it to 1996. We have been having elections, so yeah, before is just short-termed. But yes, we did a lot of mobilization. I was sharing here with somebody from the greater Mubende, that is Kyankwanzi, Kivoga, Mitiana, Kasanda, and Mubende. It has 20 members of parliament. So far we have got 17 of them. So that's a very big win, a very big push. Here in Kampala, well, from what the EC has been showing us, the performance is much better than before. Even from our own DR forms we have been receiving, we are doing much better. So we are going to do better in Kampala than before, than last election. Our total vote and the percentage in Kampala and Wakiso is going to be much higher than the last election.
Lastly,
maybe the reason why I see in this Kisanja which we are ending, first of all, in the last election, we were getting out of COVID. These areas of the urban areas of Uganda, Kampala and Wakiso being the highest urbanized areas in Uganda. You see, getting out of COVID, the people are not working. But the landlords were demanding rent. The workers, some of the salaries had been cut to half, some were off. So the economic situation that time was so hard. But then today is totally different. That's why there was our performance in the urban areas was not that good. So people were reacting to the situation at the time. If you ask me what has happened, how it has changed, today we are not under any lockdown. People are working. We introduced programs specifically to help people get out of poverty, like PDM. In the whole country today, we have reached out. We have so far spent 3.7 trillion under PDM, which has so far reached 3.4 million households. So people are in economic activity. If you look at the economy, it's much better today than it was 5 years ago. And who is benefiting from this economy? When you hear that Uganda's coffee exports have gone up and to almost 9 million bags, away from 3 million bags in 1986. Who benefits from this coffee? Coffee in Uganda is basically a peasant crop. Very few middle class people are involved in coffee growing. So when coffee exports go up, both in volume and the amount of money coming in, it means the farmers who are in the villages, who are in the rural areas, are getting money from coffee. And that's a very big benefit for them and the country at large. So that's why the voting today, when people have money in their pockets, is much different than when they lack it.
Lastly, tomorrow is the last day. We will know exactly who will be president-elect. But also as the National Resistance Movement, you need to bring this country together, especially not to be divided by colors. How do you galvanize this country to pull together, to develop it together?
Well, if you look at the map of Uganda, the electoral map as today is, it's basically yellow everywhere, with some few cases where Kyagulanyi has won within Uganda here, but we have also won, in some of the cases we have won the MPs in those areas, and our policy has always been that we develop the country irrespective of how it voted. So our programs, like for instance, look at the PDM. In the last election we lost in Uganda, but so far under PDM we have spent 627 billion within Uganda, the highest in the whole country because of the size of Uganda. Other areas are below 600 billion. But so for us, we don't discriminate. Whether you voted for us or didn't vote for us, our programs are as uniform as possible. So we shall continue to work for the development of the whole country, irrespective of how they voted for or against us.
Thank you very much, Mr. Byarhanga. We appreciate your time. We'll be with you to hear the last of those polls coming in. So that's what you've heard from the NRM. They say they are performing as they expected, slightly not as much as they expected going forward, but the numbers show themselves there. About 5 million votes still coming in, and Honorable Chagulanyi coming in at the second there, north of 1.1 million there. We also look at the rest of the candidates coming in there. We have about 30,000 polling stations that have come in, about 59%. We're left with about, give or take, 21% or 31% to be able to come in here and make the difference in those votes, 41%, sorry, and that will make the significant change as we go on. The evening when the Electoral Commission, the chairperson, comes back here and gives us the next set of results, that's when we anticipate to see exactly where the clock will be moving, and that is the anticipation that the whole country is waiting for, to know exactly what will be happening. But also, I encourage all of us to keep peace wherever we are, because this country belongs to all of us. From us here at the National Tally Center, we hand over to you at the Broadcast House.
I am the Most Reverend Dr. Stephen Samuel Kazimba Mugaru, the 9th Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, but also Chair Council of Presidents for Intelligence Council of Uganda. It is your God-given opportunity to go and elect your leaders. Some people are wondering whether this is just a constitutional right. Not only that, it's a biblical mandate from Proverbs chapter 18, verse 18. The Bible says, casting a vote settle disputes. So casting a vote is biblical and it's God-given. Now I want to call upon all Ugandans. In the morning, wake up, go and vote, because it is your God-given mandate. But also I want to invite that people, everybody, we keep the peace, because peace is very, very important. We belong to different parties, but we are Ugandans. We should remember that voting or elections is just an event. It's a seasonal thing for this particular time, and once it's done, we put leaders in place, and then life must continue. no reason of hating, no reason of promoting hatred or even fighting. And I want to call upon the security agencies, please do your job of protecting the people so that after the end of it all, we'll come back as Ugandans.
Tuongeye, let's talk peace. Let's talk peace.
I'm Superintendent of Police, Bagan's Patience, the DPC Dokoro. We are in for the election period, and my role as police is to provide security. However, if we are to have a peaceful election, it is a two-way traffic. The Wananchi also have a role to play in this. The catchword in this is to have an election period where everyone is to participate freely without any fear. Our commitment has
Colonel Banison Desderius Mande. I'm the Director Research and Analysis, National Counterterrorism Center. As we go into this electoral season, we all need to work as whole government, whole society, for people to talk peace and maintain peace before, during, and after elections. Uganda is for all of us. We need it secure. We need these elections free of violence.
Tuongeye, let's talk peace. Let's talk peace.
As we go into the final lap of the electoral campaigns and into polling, we are calling upon all the people of Uganda to conduct themselves peacefully. First of all, the candidates, we call upon you to use suitable language that shows respect and tolerance, and language that promotes peace and unity, because we are all Ugandans and elections should not divide us. So we call for language that is respectful of people's cultures, people's views, and is tolerant, because we all have different views, but we all want to have a very, very united country, Uganda, and a progressive one at that. So we are calling upon you to conduct yourself peacefully as we go into the final days of the campaigns, and on polling day, to respect the views of others and to accept the results of the elections, and know that after the elections, there will still be a Uganda, and we need each other as citizens of Uganda. I wish you a peaceful electoral process, and I call upon you to be peaceful. Peace-loving Ugandans. God bless you.
Tuongeye, let's talk peace.
Hujambo mtazamaji wa UBC TV, unakaribishwa katika kipindi hiki, na kwa sasa nitaenda moja kwa moja katika kukuonyesha jinsi ambavyo matokeo ya awali ya urais yalivyo kwa sasa. Ila kabla ya hapo, napenda kukukumbusha kwamba jana tarehe 15 Januari uchaguzi mkuu ulifanyika ambao ulikwenda sambamba na uchaguzi wa wabunge katika wilaya mbalimbali. Na kwa sasa ningependa kukuonyesha jinsi ambavyo matokeo ya awali ya urais yalivyo. Kwa sasa tu yanaendelea, tunaendelea kuyapokea, lakini hii haimaanishi kwamba haya ni matokeo ya mwisho. Hapana, sio ya mwisho. Kwa hivyo kwa sasa matokeo ya urais yako hivi. Kwa sasa Rais Yoweri Kaguta Museveni bado anaongoza kwa asilimia 75.38. Hiyo ni sawa na kura milioni 5,148,845. Na kwa upande mwingine tukienda katika FDC, chama pinzani cha FDC, samahani, naomba nikurudishe nyuma, Nandala Mafabi ambaye aliwania nafasi hiyo kwa sasa amesimama katika asilimia 2.12, sawa na kura elfu moja ni asilimia 2.12. Alafu tukienda kwa mgombea mwingine aliyegombea urais, Mubarak Mugwanya, naomba nikurudishe nyuma, samahani. Yuko katika asilimia 28 kwa sasa, ambapo alipata kura 19,034. Na kwa upande wa Joseph Mabirizi wa CP yuko katika asilimia 21, sawa na kura 14,160, asilimia 21. Alafu tukienda kwa Robert Kasibante wa NPP yuko katika asilimia 0.3, sawa na kura 20,626. And then